back.
Back again.
And it's your boy F17, aka Fred Afrifa, aka the Hoodless Brand.
AKA. It's your boy JK. Welcome back.
It's your boy Dan. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back.
And this is the L
Earning
Podcast.
Come on.
Come on.
Man, I'm pissed off.
Why you angry, man? Tell us.
Fam, people were messaging me, telling me that I got lucky to be in a position that I'm in.
No.
And it's raising a question. What's
the question?
So my question is, does someone need to be lucky to be successful? I feel like people out here think that people need to be lucky. I did a questionnaire actually on Instagram, and I think 60% of people are saying,
wow, you
need to be lucky to get successful. And fam, we need to address this right here, right now. Yeah, 58%.
58%.
You gotta be lucky in life.
What are you saying?
See, this is a tricky one because obviously we were talking off camera, and I was thinking about luck in the sense of chance, and I feel like you look at all the successful people. Yes, they've all grinded, they've all worked hard, but the circumstances have played a role, in my opinion, and those circumstances, in some way, whether you believe or not, in my opinion, they're slightly determined by chance. I don't know what you guys think, but that's the way I see it.
So, is there a difference between chance and luck?
That's the question, isn't it? Because if there isn't, then yes, you do need a little bit of luck. I guess that's life in general anyways, right? But if there is, then obviously, I don't know, because there's a lot of people that have made it where they are today. And you can't really go up to them and say, oh, the only reason why you're here is because you're lucky. Do you know what I mean? Because you see the work they put in, and you have to be prepared for the luck,
That's my thing. I think luck. So I think the way I see luck and chance, chance is 1 in a million. So winning
the probability. So
that. It's luck, but I consider it more a chance thing. I feel like luck is misinterpreted. Saying someone got lucky to get to the position they're in would suggest that they can't do it again.
That's true. The chance of repeating it or basically impossible.
That's why it's
but then is it that, or is it? It's not really saying that in a sense. I think it's more saying, the opportunity came. But it doesn't. We don't know realistically whether or not they could get there again, right? But there's a pinch of luck in why they are where they are.
I mean, I was just gonna say the reason why I use the word chance is because in general I don't like the word luck. To me, you could easily say they're the same thing, right? But I just don't like the word luck or we're lucky. I just like to use the word chance, maybe because that's how my parents. Because obviously I had a chat with my parents about this, and obviously they don't like using the word lucky. But to me, I just see it as chance. They are probably the same thing, but that's I feel like just chance is just a better way of putting it than luck.
I agree. I don't like the word luck still. Go on.
I also think, if you believe, this is religiously, right? Everything is written, then it was meant to happen anyway.
True.
So there's no such thing as luck, right?
True.
It was written, this is my story, this happened.
Right.
I can't really control how lucky I am anyways. So if you put yourself in a position to be lucky, then is that really you being lucky or
so
you
that's
being
it.
productive?
That's it. I feel like, number one, to agree with your point, I don't like the word luck, because even before races, and people wish me good luck, I'm I don't want luck right now. I'd rather you tell me, okay, all the best, I wish you all the best, or do your thing, try your best. It's not about getting lucky right now, it's about me doing my thing in the race. And then secondly, in terms of luck, to be considered lucky, I think you need to be in a position to receive the blessing. Because for example, as a sports person, let's say you now got opportunity to get a big trial for a football club, but you're not fit.
Yeah.
So that you could have been lucky, but you weren't in a position to receive your blessing.
Yeah, no, that's true. And obviously there's a saying about how your hard work determines your chance or your luck, whatever. Obviously you've got to be putting the work in so that you can get that chance potentially. That's how I see it.
You got to be ready,
Facts. You got to be ready.
And I think first-hand experience for that. I think when you speak of trials, there's been a lot of times where I wasn't in a position to, so even if opportunity did come, I was never ready for it in a sense.
Facts.
But then at the same time, when we speak about luck, we have to take in consideration like where you're born, you know, family, etc., like neighborhood and stuff like that. Obviously, if you're a rich person born in, I don't know, central London or wherever, you go private school, you meet, all this, you know, son of the Prime Minister.
Yeah, then your chances of success.
Then obviously your chances of success
aren't they?
are
increased, yeah.
But that's not really out of our hands. You can't really do anything about that, right?
Yeah.
But it is luck in a sense.
Yeah.
Who chose that this is going to be your dad or your mom? You're going to, you know, we don't choose that.
We don't determine that at all.
That is a good point. Yeah, and then I guess it's up to you to see what you do there. There was actually, I was looking this up here because I was just interested with the whole luck thing. Yeah, there's this guy that did a study. So he put on a newspaper, he put out an advert. It's like, if you consider yourself very lucky, or if you consider yourself like a loser or you're not lucky, get in touch. So people got in touch, and basically the study was, there's a newspaper with bare pictures, and he asked both groups of people count the amount of pictures on this newspaper. So the people that consider themselves losers, they counted the pictures in like 2 minutes. Some got it right, some got it wrong. The people who didn't think they consider themselves lucky, they actually got the number in like a few seconds. That's because on page 2 there was a writing saying there are 43 pictures on this newspaper. Like, that's it.
They said the answer just there and
there. But the people who consider themselves unlucky, they weren't looking at the writing. They were just too busy looking at the pictures. So they're counting pictures. Whereas the people that consider themselves not lucky, they saw that on page 2. So I guess.
But then, what would you do in that position, realistically?
Me, I personally, I think I would see the writing. It's easier to say now. But I guess what the study's saying, is that the people that consider themselves lucky, they basically looked at things from a different perspective.
They got,
Whereas the people that consider themselves lucky, like unlucky, a trait that people have that consider themselves unlucky is that they're mad anxious and they're just too linear with their tunnel vision. You know what I'm trying to say? So if you're just looking like this, you're not going to see the opportunities that are here and here. You know what I'm trying to say? So again, in terms of getting lucky or getting opportunities, like, if you're too tunnel visioned, you're gonna miss out on opportunities. Like, example, if you're going to a party to seek one specific type of person or specific type of girl or whatnot, you now may miss opportunities to like meet friends or just see someone else, or do you know what I'm trying to say?
Meet the love of your life.
You get it? So like, people can not necessarily create your own luck, but you can increase the chance of how lucky you get by like just putting yourself out there and not being so narrow-minded.
So we're all kind of agreeing then that the chance of success is more down to the hard work and the determination and the work that you put in than the chance or the luck that you potentially get.
It's a tough one. I agree in a sense, but I also don't agree. And the only reason I say that is, I remember back in the days when I used to play football, I was like the only one that lived in let's say the area wasn't really, it wasn't it. And I played with like a lot of like rich kids and stuff. And there was some of them, they weren't ballers at all. But because daddy knows him, mommy knows him, we're all in the same situation. Sometimes I don't play minutes. The person that is playing is not better than me. He doesn't train better than me either, but he's playing.
How many of them made it though?
Well, some of them still do to this day. Some of them do make it, innit?
So that's the thing. I feel like when it comes to like getting luck before the fundamentals, because like you said, the fundamentals are like hard work, consistency, right? And I think it can actually sometimes be detrimental if you get luck before you build the fundamentals, because like you go all the way up, you get lucky, you get a taste of that life, but eventually, if you haven't got the fundamentals, your thing's gonna come crashing down.
It's so funny you think of that, because obviously you see footballers, there are some footballers that I wouldn't say they've got the luck, but they have the natural born talent. But then they get to a certain level, but then because they don't put in that hard work and that consistency, you just see them nosedive. Like, I know there was a player that used to play for Man United called, I think it was like Rebel Morrison. And he was one of those guys that was tipped to be one of those special players for United. And I don't know him personally, obviously, so I don't know what he's done in his background, but you could tell that maybe potentially he didn't put the work in enough, because now I think he's now playing like League 1 or League 2 or whatever. The point is, like you were saying before, you've got to have those fundamentals, that foundation, to then potentially benefit from any luck or perceived chance that you get.
Agreed. And if anything, like, it can be detrimental because it can F you up, like, mentally. If you've now tasted a high life and you you believe your own hype off the back of the luck. Like, I don't know, maybe music, for example. You create a song, it's a smash hit, but you got lucky. You got the high life, but you're not that good.
The
Like, you know what I'm saying?
one hit wonders.
You get it, you haven't hit the fundamentals.
That one song can be enough for you to be lucky.
To be
for the
eaten.
rest of
Yeah,
your life.
right. You could be eaten. You could. But you
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
of
We've got the
course,
same
yeah.
way. Like you could get the high life from that song. You can't replicate it because you haven't built the fundamentals.
But as well, like, people are followers in a sense, right? So, for example, one song might not even be good, but everyone's now listening to it.
Yeah.
At first, you listen to the song and you're like, don't really like this song. 2 weeks later, song keep coming on, you're like, everyone is liking it.
You're almost forced to
You're
like
almost,
it.
yeah, and you do.
That's
Speak
the
to your
bad thing.
friends. The week before you said that I didn't really like it. Week 3, you know what? I'm starting to like it. Do you really like it?
Not really.
Or is it because everyone's liking
But
it?
you know what's interesting? A time ago, when I was proper into music, I saw this thing that radio stations, that's literally their job is like to force
Sit down your
feed songs down your throat to the point where you like them. Like they'll literally have a playlist of like 20 songs and they'll play it for like the whole week. And then you hear one song so many times that eventually somehow your brain starts to like process it and start liking it. Literally, bro. Like, and it's had.
There's a study that I seen like on YouTube time ago, right?
Yeah.
And there was it was like a doctor room, and it's a waiting room basically. You're waiting to be called, right? And there's this paid actor, and there's a bell that goes on like every minute, and then at first it's just him in the room, and then people start coming, but it's like one by one.
Okay.
So every 30 seconds there's a bell that goes, and it's like beep, and the actor stands up, and then the next person comes in. Beep, the actor stands up. The
So it was
person
the
is just
actor
looking
in
around.
the change in the waiting room.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the person that is obviously someone that's actually waiting for the appointment is just looking around like this guy keeps standing up when the beep comes.
I think I know what's going
Don't
on.
tell me
Yeah.
this.
Beep.
Yeah.
And the guy stands up. Actor and the guy stand up.
Absolutely.
Another person comes in. Bro,
Oh.
I tell you, by the end of the study,
Everyone's standing up.
beep, every single person is standing up.
What the hell?
Because what would you do?
Crazy.
You walk in a place, beep, everyone is standing up.
You're gonna stand up.
You're looking around, you're thinking,
The one out,
what's
I'll
going
see.
on? Like, do I stand up?
Yeah.
Do I stay seated? Beep, 6 people are standing up. You're the only one that's sitting
crazy.
down.
That's interesting.
That's
man.
crazy.
So what does that show like?
Shows that people are followers.
People
That's,
are followers.
Yeah.
You don't. We don't think. We just do.
Mm.
We see. This is what's happening. Let me just do it. Why are you standing up?
Mm.
Ask any of them. Why are you standing up?
Yeah, so
Answer.
honestly, did none of them actually ask the guys why he was standing?
No.
That's crazy.
And ask the people that are standing up. Why are you standing
Standing
up?
up, they wouldn't know.
They don't know.
But then that's literally like if you were to ask a lot of people like, why do you listen to this music? Why did you watch that film? Why do you like this girl? Why do you like that car? I don't know. Just because everyone else does.
I guess, but I guess with films it's a bit different, right? Like you watch a trailer and you're like, this is interesting.
I mean, generally, like,
Oh yeah,
the mentality of like people just liking things.
Yeah. They don't know
Because
yeah, they
everyone
don't know.
else just likes it.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I'm trying to
Of
say?
course.
Like, it's mad, you know?
Yeah, and obviously I try as much as possible to not be. Obviously, when I was younger, and even some things like now, I'm kind of like that. I mean, it's inevitable in some way. We tend to follow just because I feel like that's how our brain is just trained to operate.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you got to be careful of just doing that far too much.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
just
fam,
continue being a
go
follower.
against the grain, bruv.
Yeah,
Go against the
100%.
grain.
But
Like,
then it feels now that is when you do stuff like that. Obviously, to you it comes natural. Someone will look at it like you're just forcing it.
That's
You're
the
trying
thing.
not to like it
Yeah,
because
that's the
everyone
thing.
likes it.
There's a difference in my opinion. There is a difference.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
But people, that's how they perceive you, right? They'll say, "Oh, you're just trying to. You don't like it because everyone likes it." Like Game of Thrones, for example. Everyone watch Game of Thrones.
Not me. But
Not you.
I struggled.
Exactly. But like,
Yeah, that's
do you know what I
good.
mean? Because if you're in a room and like, oh, you don't watch Game, why don't you watch it? Oh, I don't like it. Oh, you only don't like it because everyone watches it and you're gonna be different. You know what I mean? But that's not the case. You just don't like it.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
I like it, by the way.
Yeah. GOT, yeah. I tried to watch it, but I
yeah, I got to like season 3 and I just stopped. No reason.
These are just,
Yeah. Joffrey, I got to the bit where Joffrey
yeah.
got
Oh.
smoked. Joffrey got smoked.
Exactly,
so,
man.
yeah.
Bad, man.
But no, it's true, man. It's true. I think definitely like people need to find themselves now more than ever.
Yeah.
Especially like young people. Like if you're a young person listening to this, like now more than ever, it's gonna be hard to find yourself because things even from the beginning of times, things are always forced like down our throats, like through advertising, through radios or whatever. But like now more than ever with social media, like it's harder than ever to find yourself. but it's more important than ever.
Yeah, man. Because if you're just following, there's no true happiness in what you're doing. And if something changes, you're gonna find yourself in a situation where mentally it's a hard place.
100%. Do you know what's actually interesting? So I don't remember where I saw this, but there was another thing, right, where basically there was a bunch of kids watching TV, and basically there was an advert of this toy, and they watched the advert of this toy over and over again. And after this advert, they put this toy like next to a really like nasty looking human. I don't know what they meant by that.
That's crazy.
I was gonna say something crazy. But basically, the kids were willing to go to the nasty human because of the toy. And then they put another bunch of kids without looking at the advert.
I can't stop laughing at this.
Yeah, nasty human. I wonder what the person is. I hope they look like a brother, you know. But yeah, and then basically another bunch of kids, same age, put the toy next to the nasty looking human. None of them went anywhere near it.
No.
And it just shows the power of like influence from adverts.
Yeah, because especially like young kids like that, they're so impressionable. Like they'll see something like that and be like, oh, I'm just gonna latch onto it. Like it's crazy. And even young people, like even like teens or like young adults, they're still so impressionable.
That's what you target, right? Because you know it's easy.
Yeah, it's light work.
You can mold them into like whatever you want. So that's what you target. But then how do you make sure that these young people, kids, can't be targeted? How do you do it? Social media is so big.
That's it.
TV is so big. Advertising. It's the same with, bit of a topic, but it's the same with like Christmas, right? It's just commercialized now, isn't it?
Yeah. Start seeing ads in like September or like even after Halloween, like boom, Christmas ads.
Yeah.
Like,
and you ask people like, what's the meaning of Christmas? Yeah, just gift giving.
So that's a very good point. Still, it's a very good point because things like Christmas and things that have been they've lost their meaning, innit?
Yeah.
And it's kind of weird because as we grow up, we always like, oh, it doesn't feel the same. It doesn't feel the same. And it's kind of like the whole commercial aspect of it has sucked the soul out of like the experience, man.
Yeah, can I give you a holiday that isn't actually celebrated in the UK, but an example that's been so commercialised now is Thanksgiving. Because obviously it's a US holiday. But when you ask someone in the UK, oh, what's Thanksgiving? I'll tell you they'll say two things. They'll say Black Friday and they'll say Cyber Monday. That's it. That's all their brains know now, because that's when it's Thanksgiving time. Like, cool, let's see what sales are on, let's see what I can buy. It's not about being thankful for what you got and the family around you and everything else like that. It's crazy, man. Commercialization is no joke.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's mad, like, yeah, we see it all over again on socials. So like, definitely, I think we've mentioned this before on like just the amount of time people just spend on socials. But this is more generally like just. You need to know yourself, man. Yeah.
So I think it's a conversation I was having for you, like socials force you to stay in it, like TikTok.
Yeah.
You know, you watch a video, it's so easy to just scroll down, watch the next video.
Yeah. Same with YouTube. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. So you need to find yourself, man. And then obviously that's for the younger kids, and generally for the older lot, like similar to what we spoke about before, where you have to know your strengths and weaknesses and that, like know what you're on, man, or start figuring it out. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, everyone learns about themselves constantly. I wouldn't say I've got myself figured out, but I'm definitely on the process of understanding what man likes, what man doesn't like.
It's funny, innit? Because we were speaking, there was one time, and we were speaking about, like, when people go to therapy to speak to a therapist.
Yeah.
And it's like, I was saying, why would I go to someone to speak about myself? They don't really know me. Surely
they
I
think
know,
they know you.
Surely I know myself better than them. But then people go all the time. Yeah,
I think with a therapy, so they help you understand things about yourself. I think that's what it is.
Because someone was saying it's like they keep asking you questions.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's like, why do you do this?
Yeah. Exactly.
Why do you think like this?
Exactly.
Why is it that you think you did that? And then you start thinking. So I guess
So I think that's what it is. Like I haven't been therapy yet, but I was against it. Kind of, not really. I wasn't entirely against it, but I wasn't something I was interested in.
Yeah.
Now it's something that I am interested in because I'm just on this self-discovery journey, and I think it's more so that thing like someone described it as like a ping pong thing, where like back and forth, like you throw the ball, they throw it back at you. So it's not that they necessarily know you more than you know them, but they just help you understand things about yourself.
Yeah, to be fair, that's a good point. But also, for me personally, I feel like if anyone knows you better than myself, it's my family. And I feel like that same back and forth that you can have with a therapist, I have that with my mum and dad. Like, so
but do you not think that there's always something that your family don't really know.
Yeah, that's true. But sometimes when I think about therapy, I'm not like you, I'm not against it, but I feel like I can have that same dynamic in a way with my family members. Like, I can't obviously replicate it 100, but to me, it's like I can have something similar.
Do you not feel like it's much easier to be truly honest to someone that knows nothing about you?
I agree with that still.
That is easier, but I feel like with my family, I can be almost 100%, like almost 100% honest. I genuinely feel like we have that relationship. Obviously, not every family has that relationship. But I feel like with my family, especially with my sister, shout out my sister if she's going to watch this, I feel like I can basically tell her anything and she won't judge me and she'll kind of ask me questions about it and back and forth like that. Like, I feel like I can have that with my family.
That's amazing.
But obviously therapy is important for people. I totally get that 100%.
Definitely. I think the non-judgmental side of what you just said, I think that's the most important thing because in certain family dynamics, you would feel judged if you're totally bare and honest with that person, which would defeat the purpose of the activity. So I think that's when maybe like someone like a therapist would thingy. But what I struggle with therapy is that like, so when in choosing a therapist, number one, I don't know whether it's better to go with a man or a woman, and question. Also I think I prefer to go with some like a black person.
But see, that's just visually, right? Visually, you see a black person, you're like comfortable. How many times, bro, we've been in a situation, for example, Challenge back in the day, where there was like us, and there was, I think, two more, not Challenge actually, it was another experience. But it's like, there was only two of us who were black, and there was another black person. First thing we did, go and speak to a black person. And you're like, go in there and you're like, alright, mate.
Okay, so you're saying,
and it's like visually, you understand me,
but doesn't mean you do.
But do you really?
That's a good point. That's a good point. That's a good point. I guess it's that relatability as well, isn't it? Like, if I speak to a therapist who's like, I don't know, over 50 years old, are they going to be able to understand?
I feel like they'll be judging me if I'm going to be totally honest.
But then, do you not think that as a 25, 26 year old, if you were to speak to a like 13-year-old, you'd understand. You think you'd understand them. They look at you and they think you understand nothing of what I'm going through. So the same, they do.
They think that.
They do. Obviously, we think we do because it feels like we were 13 like 10 days ago. But maybe the 50-year-old, we look at him like you don't understand anything, but they understand more than we know.
The reason I disagree with that is because of like so the generation gap between 50-year-olds and us, I think, is much bigger than the us and the youngers, just because of like technology and just because of general lifestyle. Like when they were 25, things were very, very different in terms of like, I don't know, how women were treated, how people started to have families young. Whereas like now, if I was to like, when I go into schools and I speak to year 7s, I feel like I can really relate to them because even though their generation is a bit crazier in terms of social media and stuff, I still feel like I'm social media savvy enough to understand. Like,
but you can learn, innit? You can adapt.
I was going to say to your point about like 13-year-olds or just like that younger generation, obviously. So I have quite a few cousins that are younger than me. In fact, all my cousins are younger than me, and I have like quite a few around the like maybe 12 to like 15 age range. And one thing I try to do as much as possible is I try and treat them as if I'm talking to either someone like your age or even like my dad's age. I try to treat them almost as an equal because I know for me I would feel like it's quite annoying if they're almost not talking down to me but clearly treating me like I'm some kid, which yes they are, but I want to give them the benefit of the doubt and treat them like an adult or like a proper person, you know, just so that they can feel like I'm not completely disrespecting them.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think in the sense of, yes, I get it. Because I think that way you can connect to them as well. But there's always that problem of them getting too comfortable. Thinking that we're actually the same age and you can talk to me the way you like.
It's true.
And I think that's more in the terms of, because I've worked with young people before. That was the problem, right? Because sometimes I did talk to them as if like they're my friends or something. So when I'm giving you advice, I'm giving you advice for you, really. Like, it doesn't do nothing for me. But it's hard, isn't it? Because when my parents give us advice, well, myself anyways, back in the days, it's always like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do it, but half of the time I do it. But then when you grow up and you think back, you're like, right, like half of the time you're right.
Advice,
hindsight, right? But I think with young people, for example, it's hard to build that relationship where they respect you and at the same time you can be comfortable enough to treat them as equal.
I think that's the trick, man. Like, obviously, going into schools and stuff, that's what separates, like, I think, like, a good teacher from an amazing teacher. Like, someone who you have enough respect for to not, like, move mad and understand they're not your peer, but someone who you can also go to and speak to, like, if you had any problems. And, like, shout out to all the teachers, by the way. Like, I know quite a few teachers. You lot are the real life heroes.
Yeah, no, I'm underappreciated, 100% underappreciated.
I went to secondary school the other day, and I just saw the head of year 7, like, the amount of just things that were just thrown at him constantly, left, right, and centre, and he was just dealing with them here. Yeah. I just thought, right, this is work. Like,
it's crazy. You only appreciate them afterwards.
100% now.
When you're in school, you're like, Miss Jones, man.
They're
Jones,
There's always that one or maybe one or two teachers that you've had that, looking back, you didn't realise how important they were to you. Like, I remember in what year was it? It must have been maybe year 10 when I was doing maths. I had a maths teacher called Mr. Z, and obviously I loved him then, but I was thinking about him the other day, and I didn't realise how much actually of a great teacher, like, and how relatable he was to his students. And like you said now, that relatability, I find it so hard for some teachers to kind of grasp that idea. I feel like some teachers have a lot of difficulty with being relatable to their students and actually getting them to engage.
I think nowadays it's a bit easier, though, isn't it? Because you walk to schools and it's like all your friends are teachers.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, right, we're all adults, so that's crazy.
So what do you mean by it nowadays?
As in, like, because all our friends are teachers, because obviously generation just, it's like they can relate to the young people a bit more. But then, you know, when I look back at it, teachers were actually like,
I was gonna say, when we were kids, we thought the teachers were so grown up, but looking back on it, they were in their mid-20s.
To be fair, some of them were, some of my teachers,
of course. But some were in their mid-20s.
Some of them, but I never really look at them like, they're only 25.
You just think they're big,
you just think they're an adult.
Literally,
man. But it's interesting. I mean, couple more minutes on this flipping episode. So anyways, let's circle back to the luck thing.
Yeah.
So what would you say in terms of, like, luck and, like, quote unquote success?
I think there's a balance in it. You can be lucky, but at the same time you got to work hard for it. And if you just sit there waiting for the luck to happen, I mean, the chances of you making it is very
super slim. So that's the thing with luck, like, it's not necessarily, I think it's maybe not as black and white as, okay, this guy's a lucky person, so it's not a lucky person. But you can maximise, like, the amount of luck that enters in your life by just looking at things in a whole holistic approach.
Because no successful person would say that they never worked and they just hoped that one day they'll get the opportunity. That's unrealistic, isn't it?
100%. And the thing is, so I watched the show, I don't know if you guys, I think I've mentioned it before, Undercover Billionaire, So literally these guys, they're billionaires, and they basically go back to, like, some next town, and they have to you have to build $1 million business in 90 days. So I guess it brings the whole luck aspect into it, because it's like people have told them they're lucky to be in a position where they are. They're like, nah,
so
do it again.
Create that same success.
And I think 4 people participated. 3 of them were able to, like, get to 1 million evaluation of their business. 1 didn't, but his evaluation was like, I don't know, like 800,000.
Oh,
so
even still,
so
it's not like you failed.
Do you get it? Yeah. So that to me shows, like, there are key characteristics.
But then, do you not think
successful.
it's a bit easier after you've
done it, because you have the mindset?
Obviously, I'm not saying that. Like,
it is easier, but I think what that shows is that there are clear characteristics, like, even from watching that like make someone successful. Like, these man, like, they tried a million things. Even on the show, they have 90 days to try things. The first idea they have, that's not the idea they go with. They just try things bare times, they get knocked down bare times, and then they just keep going. They ask bare questions, they meet a lot of people, and they just broaden their network. And then someone somewhere will
help them get what they're...
You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, all those, like, some of those characteristics that you're mentioning, obviously, so being a risk taker, I feel like to be successful, you've got to take risks. Like you said, there's no point just waiting for something to happen and just being passive. You've got to put yourself out there. And, like, you've also, I think Fred, you also said it as well, being determined and actually just put in the work. Because the way I see it, I feel like you've got to put yourself in a position to get that chance, to get that luck. One has to happen first before the other. Like, I don't think the luck can happen first and then the determination, the hard work comes after. I feel like you've got to put the work in first and then the chance or the luck.
I agree, and that's the way you want to do it.
Yeah, that's the right order.
Why? And also,
and then, is luck for you to make it without doing nothing. That is luck.
And I think that's what I was talking about, in the sense that can be detrimental. Like, you don't do nothing and you get lucky, but because you haven't built the foundation, you're gonna run out of luck.
Yeah,
Do you know
exactly.
what I'm saying? And at that point, your world's gonna come crashing
Yeah,
down.
that may
and it's
be, that may be an example of someone like I don't know, a kid whose father owns this big company, and let's say they pass away or something happens to them, and then they're put in control of that company, but obviously they've not built the foundation, so that company is just going to end up crumbling because they basically don't know what they're doing. Like,
I feel like people need to stop trying to get lucky. And the thing is, that I'm here. I'm speaking to a younger me as well.
Yeah.
I was trying to get that break, trying to get lucky.
How do you try to get lucky?
Well, people try to get lucky by like, I don't know, playing the lottery or applying to go on Love Island,
Yeah,
or like
that's exactly,
by trying to do that 1 in a million thing. Yeah, like I feel people need to just find the journey that they want to go on.
Yeah,
and then when the luck comes,
but like
it
with lottery,
comes,
like,
yeah,
you buy the lottery ticket, but I mean, you don't really think you're gonna win. It's just £2. You know what I mean?
It's
Like,
just
I
£2
think I get what you mean, but I think if you live your life just buying the ticket and expecting this is how I'm gonna be rich, like one day I'll win, then that's wrong.
oh, so you're saying every night, like
I'm saying like if you like buying the lottery ticket, but you know you're working towards wherever you want to work, I don't really see anything wrong with that in a sense because you know.
Do you know anyone like that?
I mean, I used to work at Sainsbury's back in the day.
Yeah.
You just see bare people buying lottery tickets.
And
But everyone's
what kind
working.
of people?
But obviously, I didn't really stop and say, "Wow,
Yeah.
what do you do with your life?" Like,
For me, yeah. If you're out here spending, you've walked to Sainsbury's, you've gone to the kiosk, you've gone to get lottery tickets, you've queued up for the kiosk to buy a lottery ticket. Yeah. Like everything's wrong about that. Like, in the sense that
I don't agree with
you're
that.
trying your chance.
I don't agree with that. I think it depends, innit? Because like some of them, as you said, literally, bro, they just came to Sainsbury's to buy the lottery ticket. Some of them will go shopping.
That's a good point.
At the end
That's a good point.
and buy. But we don't really know what they do with their life, innit? Obviously, I think if your life is because there are people that actually enter just bare competition. That's their life, innit? Like lottery, like win a house with a £1, red. This is what they do, you know. I saw an article the other day. One woman, like, literally, that's her life. That is wrong to me, you know.
Yeah, that's fundamentally wrong.
But if you're just a thing where you just buy a ticket every now and then, but obviously, like, I don't know.
It's true. I guess if you got other things happening, then I guess that is true.
You're
That's
putting the
true.
work in behind the scenes, and every now and
Then
then you want to buy a lottery ticket.
Because
So be it.
that is true. It's true. I guess I'm more targeting the people that are just trying to get that
that's all
lucky
they do.
break,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
you're not mashing work. You're just thinking, okay, one day it's gonna happen to me.
Yeah,
One day,
yeah.
and I know one day I'll get lucky enough to do X, Y, Z. Like, I think that's the total wrong approach.
Yeah, and I feel like that's something that the young, me included, obviously I'm going to include myself in this, that's the younger generation kind of mindset, and obviously that's when the older generation, they never used to think like that. Like, I know for a fact, my dad would never ever think like that. Obviously, us youngers, some of us anyway, you know, that's kind of the mindset we would adopt, which again, it's a bad mindset to have. Just waiting for something to happen and almost being expecting that it will, and then when it doesn't, then you're blaming someone.
Exactly. Like, put yourself in positions where you can get lucky.
Yeah, of
like,
course.
you know, I'm trying to say, just speak to people, network, and yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's the plan. That's the plan. Yeah.
I was going to say something, but I feel like that might be for another episode. Because that could be something. I was going to just say, obviously, talk about like kind of being lucky, obviously circumstances. I was going to talk about race and how that plays into it, but obviously that could be for another
Find out
episode.
on the net.
Prevention is better than cure.
I might just drop a bombshell on us.
got a shoot now, boys. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in once again,
it's
guys.
a good one. Another good one,
Thanks for
man.
the feedback, and this has been the L
Podcast.
in a bit.
We out here. Peace.